as much as we like Alice and we're fans of Aerosmith and I even like Johnny Depp, this makes no fucking sense to me. Joe Perry on upcoming Hollywood Vampires documentary. It's pretty amazing. Why the fuck is there a documentary on this part-time project band? This is not a real band.
Well, it is, but it isn't. Because this kind of goes all the way back to the 80s, I think.
Okay.
Like Mickey Dolenz was part of this, and I think Alice Cooper and Joe Perry. This all kind of culminated at the legendary Rainbow Bar and Grill.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've been to the Rainbow or not, but if you go up the stairs, there's like some club area up in the upper part of the Rainbow, and then there's I think they called it the Roost, but there was an area up there where like Mickey Dolenz and Alice Cooper and who else was in that? This was way back in the day, where they kind of even think John Lennon was part of this at some point. But it's kind of a legendary thing. And again, I agree with you. It's not like a band, a solid band. It's kind of like a revolving door of characters. Yeah. But the Hollywood Vampires legend goes all the way back to the...
Well, hold on. I'm going to stop you there. Is legend an appropriate word for this, or is it just kind of a cool hang that happened every once in a while?
No, it's back a cool to the hang, 70s. But it dated back to the 70s.
Which fine, but it's still not a thing.
It's
an occasional. It's like a house party, only at the whiskey.
No, at the Rainbow
or the Rainbow, whatever, same thing.
Yeah, and it would just be notable musicians that kind of gathered periodically because Hollywood was the place to be at the time. Yeah. And they would kind of get together and jam, I guess. I guess from my point of view, from a historic point of view, I think I would like to see that because I would like to see who was involved with this over the decades. Because
so you would plan to watch this?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Because it was kind of an eclectic collection of musicians that weren't necessarily quote unquote hard rock people. They were just musicians,
Okay.
And they came from all walks of life. They came from the Beatles to the Monkees to Alice Cooper to who else was involved later on? Obviously, Johnny Depp, I think, was involved.
Yeah, Johnny Depp's in it now, and
but he came way later on.
Keith Moon.
Yeah, there you go.
Keith Moon, John Lennon, Tommy Hendrickson.
Okay.
Chris Wise, Glenn Sobel. Yeah, I have zero interest in this.
So this is like a collection of musicians who sort of jammed from time to time. Yeah, I guess.
This just sounds like home movies from fucking hanging out, and they're not going to show the real shit. They're not going to show them doing coke and fucking whores and stuff.
All right. Well, I guess if that's what you're looking for.
Well, if you're going to do a real documentary on this, show me the real.
Right. Show you the real shit.
I mean, it's got Joe Perry and Alice Cooper. If it's from the 70s, I want to see them doing blow off a hooker's tits and shit.
All right.
I want to see the real. Johnny Depp, he's a notorious drug head, allegedly. I'd like to see him doing some rails.
All right. So you want to see some illicit shit. That's what you're looking for.
I need a hook. The hook of, well, there was these guys jammed every once in a while, and there was some famous guys that jammed every once in a while with this. That's not a good hook to me.
All right.
That's the same shit that happens in the hallway in a recording studio. This guy and that guy are like, hey, why don't you come on over to our studio and throw down some guitar with us? Do I need to see a documentary on that? No. But that's just me. But you said you'd want to see this, so that's fine.
Well, again, I'm always amazed at the footage that somehow, some way, someone had the presence of mind to flip on some kind of a video camera and start filming some shit. It's just like, why were you even filming this to begin with? You know, that's the part of these documentaries when I watch these things and you see just some very, something that isn't really spectacular. And you go, why were you filming that?
Yeah.
Why was there a video camera running to begin with?
Right.
And that always fascinates me, that somebody just had this presence of mind to have an 8mm camera running for some reason. And it's like, why were you doing that?
Yeah. Well,
why? Because it was these guys, or, and who had the presence of mind to bring a camera to begin with? And why were you running film?
We've all been there. Heartbreak, loss, and the struggle to move on. But few have laid it all bare like Chris Akin. In Little Victories, Chris shares his raw and powerful journey through a brutal divorce. Every painful moment, every emotional battle, and every step toward healing is captured in this honest, unfiltered story. If you've ever been through a tough breakup, Little Victories is the guide you need. Get your copy today at chrisakin.net or on Amazon.
Yeah. Which girlfriend had the camera on her shoulder?
And that's the weirdest thing for me, especially when it comes to really old stuff. I mean, obviously you and I can pick up our iPhone and start, running recording
video.
But back, 40, 50 years ago, when it really cost some money to run some video, somebody's up there with like a camera just recording Super 8 video, and it's like, why did you think that was the time to run Super 8 video?
Right.
That's the strangest thing to me.
Yeah, I agree.
How random the video was, and why somebody had a camera. Why did you have a camera? I never had one.
I had one in the 90s, I think. I didn't have one in the 70s.
But we're talking 60s and 70s.
No, we didn't have one.
Yeah, but somebody had one.
Yeah.
And all this footage exists even to this day, and somehow they've unarchived it after 50 years. It's like, well, where was this video and why did you shoot that? That's weird to me.
Yeah, well, it's coming soon, Neeley. You can mark your calendar for when this thing comes for you to watch, and you can tell us all about it, because I could tell you in advance, I will never see it.
All right. Well, if it's not current stuff, if it's current stuff, I'm not that interested.
Shit. Yeah.
But if it's something that goes back 50 years, when the real players were involved, whether it's like John Lennon or Joe Perry or Alice Cooper or Mickey Dolenz or, these people, it's again, I have to sit there and go, holy shit, why were you running video?
Yeah.
Why were you up in the upstairs room of the Rainbow Bar and Grill? What were you filming? What were you attempting to capture on video?
Well, your search for the answers will be revealed soon.
All right. Well, again, if it's old archive stuff, I'll love it. If it's newer stuff that could be captured on an iPhone, not so much.